Graduation? Graduation is cut with a range of elevations from 1 degree up to 89 degrees. For this approach, our elevation is somewhere around 45 degrees. This amount of elevation will allow us to see a buildup of weight in our finished result. Using the natural part as my segmenting in the front helps create proper weight balance around the face. Before beginning any cutting, inspect the entire hairline for density, texture, or length issues that will affect your finished haircut. Any elevation used when cutting will expose these factors. We need to have a plan to control or limit their impact on our finished result. My section choice is horizontal. This section gives me the most control over the length side to side and allows me to see the curve of the bone structure, giving me a better reference to where my cutting line and lower body position should be to limit any excess length. Combing section 1 up and combing section 2 down onto section 1 gives me proper control of my guide and the section I will be cutting. To limit any extra length, I need to keep my cutting line parallel to the head shape. Adjusting the head position and/or your body position as you work will help keep your cutting line parallel to the curve of the bone structure. Our guide is traveling. Each new section is cut on top of the previous cut section. Section 1 established our guide, 2 is cut on 1, 3 is cut on 2, and so on. Cross-checking vertically allows me to see the control of my elevation. Cross-checking horizontally, I would be inspecting my cutting line. It should be creating a flat line from front to back. Once my sectioning reaches the top of the ear, I need to work continuously from the back of the head to front of the head to keep my cutting line consistent. From the temple to the parietal ridge, the head shape is very flat horizontally. Keep your cutting line parallel from back to front to ensure your haircut doesn't get longer towards the front. Your section direction and finger angle should be a reference to what your cutting line looks like. On the top of the head, hair must be elevated and cut within the natural fall. Over the brow bone, combing the hair behind the hairline and cutting it will preserve length and compensate for the natural fall of a real hairline. On the opposite side, your cutting line will now be working from the outside inward. With our fingertips on the outside of the section, it's very easy to pull your fingers towards you, creating unnecessary length. To keep your length consistent from side to side, start cutting on the interior of the section, then work your way out. You want to keep your hairline intact, so begin softening the weight above this area. Softening the graduation will allow you to create a cleaner outline to finish your haircut. Working with a horizontal section, I drop each section into my comb and point cutting into the section. Keeping my scissors vertical to the section will allow me to soften the weight and not change the length. Working with a horizontal section supports my cutting line and allows me to soften the graduation without taking away from the buildup of weight. To make a cleaner outline, I'm point cutting into the hairline in nape. This may not be necessary if the hair is a skinny texture or lower density. When point cutting, continually elevating your section while cutting will result in the finish becoming softer and softer. With the interior of the haircut completed, the process of creating an outline begins. Any hair around the hairline can now be easily and efficiently cleaned up. For this outline, I wanted to keep it consistent to the initial haircut. The extra length created above the brow bone is also shaped up, but remains long enough that if the hair was brushed to the side, the haircut would be balanced in weight from side to side.